Did you know that seeing someone yawn can make you yawn too? This fascinating phenomenon is known as contagious yawning, and it's not just a random occurrence. It's believed to be deeply rooted in our psychology and evolution. Some theories suggest it's a form of social bonding, an empathetic response, or even a survival mechanism from our ancestors. Regardless of the reason, it's a powerful testament to the power of suggestion and mimicry in human behavior. So, next time you yawn, observe who around you does the same. Ever wondered why red means stop and green means go? Colors are not just part of our visual experience, they influence our emotions and decision-making processes. For instance, red often signifies danger or urgency, hence it's used in stop signs and emergency signals. On the other hand, green represents growth and safety, which is why it's often associated with positive actions. This psychological impact of colors is no secret to marketers who use them strategically to sway our perceptions. Now you know why marketers use colors strategically. Do attractive people really have it easier? Now this isn't just a rhetorical question. Welcome to the fascinating world of the halo effect. This psychological phenomenon, coined by psychologist Edward Thorndike back in the 1920s, suggests that our brains are wired to believe that physically attractive people are more intelligent, competent, and moral. Imagine you're at a party and you meet two individuals. One is conventionally attractive, the other not so much. Without knowing anything else about them, your brain might unconsciously associate positive qualities with the attractive individual. You might perceive them as more sociable, successful, or trustworthy. This is the halo effect in action. But here's the catch. The halo effect is not about truth, it's about perception. It doesn't mean attractive people are actually smarter or more competent. It just means we tend to think they are. So remember, beauty isn't just skin deep, it influences our perceptions too. Would you intervene if you saw someone in trouble? It's a simple question, but the answer might be more complex than you think. This is where the bystander effect comes into play. This psychological phenomenon suggests that individuals are less likely to offer help when other people are present. It's as if we all become spectators, expecting someone else to step up. Imagine you're in a bustling city street and you spot a stranger having a medical emergency. You look around and see dozens of people witnessing the same event. Yet everyone stands still, frozen in place, silently questioning. Should I step in? Won't someone else do it? This diffusion of responsibility may be a survival instinct, but it often leads to inaction when action is most required. So the next time you find yourself in such a situation, remember the bystander effect. Don't just stand by, step forward. Your action could make a world of difference. Do you always act in line with your beliefs? This is a question that might seem straightforward, but the answer often isn't. Welcome to the world of cognitive dissonance, a psychological theory proposed by Leon Festinger in the mid-20th century. Cognitive dissonance refers to the mental stress or discomfort we experience when we hold two or more contradictory beliefs, values, or attitudes concurrently. This clash of ideas can lead us to act in ways that contradict our stated beliefs, or to rationalize our actions in order to reduce the discomfort. Let's say you're a staunch supporter of environmental conservation, yet you find yourself driving a gas-guzzling car. This contradiction might cause you discomfort, leading you to rationalize your actions. I need this car for work, or I recycle so it balances out. Cognitive dissonance affects our actions and decisions, often pushing us to avoid discomfort. So next time you feel conflicted, remember it's just your brain trying to avoid discomfort. Do you feel like everyone is watching you? This is a common feeling known as the spotlight effect. It's a psychological phenomenon where we overestimate how much others notice about us. We think we're the main character in this grand production called life, that every little detail about us is under scrutiny. But the truth is, everyone else is too engrossed in their own performance to pay much attention to ours. So, remember, everyone else is too caught up in their own lives to notice that tiny stain on your shirt. Ever bought something just because everyone else was? Welcome to the bandwagon effect, a psychological phenomenon where people do something primarily because other people are doing it. We see it in fashion trends, political views, even in the music we listen to. It's not necessarily a bad thing, but it's always good to be aware of it. After all, the most interesting and unique ideas often come from those who aren't afraid to step off the bandwagon. Remember, it's okay to march to the beat of your own drum. Can your mind really heal your body? This question leads us to the fascinating concept of the placebo effect. This psychological phenomenon suggests that our mind can indeed influence our physical health. The placebo effect is when a person experiences a perceived improvement in their condition due to their belief in the treatment, rather than the treatment itself. Imagine taking a sugar pill, thinking it's a powerful medication, and then feeling better. That's the placebo effect in action. Our minds are incredibly powerful and capable of affecting our bodies in ways we don't fully understand. The belief in the effectiveness of a treatment can trigger a release of endorphins, which are natural painkillers produced by the brain. The placebo effect shows us that our thoughts and perceptions can have tangible effects on our physical well-being. It's a testament to the profound connection between our minds and bodies. Your mind holds more power than you might think. Ever met someone who thought they were an expert when they clearly weren't? This is where the Dunning-Kruger effect comes into play. It's a cognitive bias where people with low ability at a task overestimate their ability. It's like a singer who can't carry a tune believing they're the next big superstar. Funny, isn't it? But there's a serious side to this. It's not just about overconfidence. It's about a lack of self-awareness and a misunderstanding of one's own skills. The less competent someone is, the more they overestimate their abilities. This is due to a gap in their knowledge that prevents them from seeing their own incompetence. On the flip side, highly competent people often underestimate their abilities, thinking tasks are easy because they find them easy. This bias can hinder growth and development, because why would you strive to improve if you already believe you're at the top? Humility and continuous learning are the keys to true expertise. Do you only listen to news that aligns with your views? If your answer is yes, you're not alone. This is a classic example of the confirmation bias, the psychological tendency to search for, interpret, favor, and recall information in a way that confirms our pre-existing beliefs or hypotheses. It's like wearing glasses that only let you see what you want to see. We're all susceptible to it. When we like a particular political candidate, we tend to ignore their flaws and magnify their strengths. When we believe in a particular theory, we seek out evidence that supports it, while disregarding any information that contradicts it. Confirmation bias is powerful, and it can affect our perception of reality. It can make us closed-minded, preventing us from seeing the full picture. So challenge your own biases. Listen to different perspectives. Expand your horizons. You might learn something new. Fascinating, isn't it? How our brains and minds work. As we reach the conclusion of our exploration, let's take a quick trip down memory lane. We started with the contagious power of yawning, a simple act that can spread like wildfire in a room. From there, we delved into the realm of color perception and how it influences our decisions and emotions. We then moved on to the halo effect, a cognitive bias that makes us judge a book by its cover, so to speak. Who can forget the bystander effect, where the presence of others can sometimes lead to inaction? We also discussed cognitive dissonance, that uncomfortable feeling we get when our actions don't match our beliefs. Then we illuminated the spotlight effect, the tendency to think that others are noticing us more than they actually are. We also highlighted the bandwagon effect, the human tendency to follow the crowd. The placebo effect was another intriguing phenomenon where our belief can actually influence our body's healing process. We touched upon the Dunning-Kruger effect, where people with low ability at a task overestimate their ability, and the confirmation bias, our tendency to interpret new evidence as confirmation of our existing beliefs. Each of these 15 facts about human behavior offers a unique insight into our minds and how they shape our actions and interactions. Remember, understanding human behavior is the first step to understanding yourself and others. Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning.